Wolf, what is up?
Oh, man, how you doing, Luke? How you going? How's everything?
Great.
Man, I can tell you right now,
Great.
I am going very, very well.
Yeah.
And speaking of going, let me just say this quickly. It's one of my favorite Fridays of the year. This is the Friday we take 250 kids with the MVP Foundation. We take them up the hill to Williams, Arizona. Can I just start with that right here? 250 inner city kids that are going to go up there and put their hands on some Ponderosa pines for the first time all weekend. Really looking forward to this, man. Love it every year.
That is really cool. I didn't realize that was this weekend. All right.
Yeah, it's very cool, man. So speaking of that as well, and going, how's your bracket going, bruh?
It's going all right. We'll get into that. I need to score my bracket because there's a little more red on there than I was hoping the first day.
Yeah.
But Kentucky losing. Well, we'll get into all that. I want to start with the Suns because the Suns. 2 wins in 2 nights. They defeat Atlanta last night. It wasn't anything amazing. There's no way beating Atlanta, especially without Trae Young, can be anything amazing. But I'm just going to put this out there, Wolf, as everybody writes them off. And I'm not saying they're going to win the title, but they have won 6 of their last 9 while everybody's writing them off. And the 3 losses have been to Boston, and Milwaukee. Now, I'm not delusional. I'm not watching these games thinking that they look like a title contending team right now. And they're still in the play-in. And everything we've been saying as far as like the path is very difficult and they got to start winning some games is there. But they are 6-3 in their last 9, and the 3 losses have come to Milwaukee and Boston.
Yeah, I understand that. I really do. I just want to see them continue to bring a consistent intensity level. That is the only thing that I'm looking at right now. And I don't know, to start the game last night, no Trae Young, and the Suns had the intensity level of a gnat in November. They came out in that first quarter, and the Hawks.
Are gnats less intense in November?
Totally, because of the cold weather, right?
Okay.
All of a sudden it cools down, and gnats like that hot. Okay. They like that heat. They love that. A gnat in November is not good.
You're like you're Wiki Wolf. That's what you are.
Yeah,
you're Wiki Wolf.
I'm just saying right now. Okay,
we need a Wiki Wolf drop.
What are you talking about, Wiki Wolf?
Wikipedia. You just know this random stuff.
The Hawks are competitive, of course, and they were desperate because they knew they didn't have Trae Young. They also missed a couple other starters as well. They were a little bit desperate, and you know what? They were down 5. It was a 2-possession game with 4 minutes to go. The Suns could have put them away, and they couldn't do it. So, once again, how the Suns are winning games right now is very, very important leading up to and leading into the last 10 games of the season.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot that happened last night that we'll get deeper into. The bench stepping up in a big way, that's potentially something that you hope at least extends beyond just last night's game. If that is the start of something, or if that's something trending in the right direction, then that means more than beating the Atlanta Hawks on March 21st. Kevin Durant wasn't amazing last night. He finished 5 of 15. He shot 3 of 12 well into the fourth quarter, but they still won. Eric Gordon, there was a moment in that game, and I don't know why. Like, Eric Gordon is just like, I was so excited when they got him, because they were able to get somebody like that in July for minimum, basically league minimum. And then he's been in and out of the lineup so much this season that there are games where he, like, when he starts hitting shots last night, I'm like, oh yeah, they have Eric Gordon. It's like, because you watch all the games and he plays in 2/3 of them, right? But if he can do something like that, that's huge. Devin Booker hit 6 threes too, and it's not like anybody doubted that he could hit threes, but he hadn't been hitting them. And now he's hitting them.
Yeah, for me, there were a lot of positives in this game. And we're going to get into this in detail, of course. It seems like the Suns might be changing their approach a little bit offensively. We'll talk about that, taking some more threes. I thought the Suns bench was the difference maker in this game. I don't know if we've seen the bench contribute and play any better this year. Maybe as good, but maybe not any better as what we saw. 47 points off the bench. And not only that, based on range, they shot 17 to 24 from the floor.
That's the key.
And, by the way, Drew Eubanks came in there and just started swatting stuff wherever it was.
Well, yeah, because Nurk got hurt. Then for a second, it looked like Beal might get hurt, might have been hurt. And then Beal obviously was able to stay in. Nurkic was able to come back. But it just It was more of a team effort last night. It's not like they went like 8 guys deep on the bench. They went 4 guys deep.
Yeah.
Like you said, those 4 guys shot efficiently and put up 47 points and also blocked 5 shots, 3 of them by Drew Eubanks.
Yeah. Speaking of Nurk and Beal, you mentioned Bradley Beal in there as well. Both those guys might just want to go with a mask, a full-time mask. Just get it on your face.
We were watching the game, and I'm like, man, has anybody been hit in the face more than Nurk this year? And then Beal got hit in the face, and I was like, maybe Bradley Beal.
Honestly, the mask it's too bad because you're sweating, of course, based on it. You can imagine the problem right now and how stinky that mask becomes just after a couple of games. I mean,
Yeah, but they're pros. They can get new masks.
They can get new masks? You think they can do How quickly do you think they turn those things over?
I think if it's for somebody in the NBA with the playoffs coming up, they can order more than one.
You're saying there's some cash?
They might be able to order like 5.
Some cold, hard cash that is out there, But more than anything, for me, I mentioned the bench, of course, Basinonians. I also talked a little bit about how the offensive approach may change here a little bit, may have changed a little bit. We'll get into that in a little bit more detail, but the fourth quarter as well, man. It didn't start well, but it finished well.
Yeah.
And that, to me, a killer instinct is something I've been talking about in regard to the Phoenix Suns for the last few months. Just seeing a killer instinct evolve. And I thought we saw the beginning of that. Now, once again, they didn't have Trae Young, missed a couple other starters as well, but still, you can only play who you can play. And you got to go out and you got to bury them. You got to take care of business and you got to do your job. And that's exactly what they did, led by Devin Booker in the fourth.
They went into the fourth quarter up 3. They end up winning by 13. So that's putting a team away in the fourth quarter. Yes, I exactly what you're saying. I can hear people being like, big deal, it's the Hawks. Well, that's the team in front of them.
Amen.
And we can't only talk about what the Suns do wrong all the time. They've won 2 in a row. They won 2 games that we all said they should win, but there's no givens in the NBA. There's certainly no givens with this team. Here's Frank Vogel about the fourth quarter.
Yeah, strong fourth. We mentioned a little bit earlier, but Brad and Nurk, playing in the pass and cut game was really good, and then the role players knocking down big threes and defending. Right? They really, I think it was a 16-5 run to start the quarter, and that set us off for a great night. We had a strong fourth quarter tonight.
Yes. And that was really, really good to see right now. Once again, you can only play who is in front of you. This is a quality win. It's a quality win because they've got a 10-game stretch that is coming up where these games, they have to go out and win. Mm-hmm. You want to stay out of the play-in somehow, some way? Well, this is it right here. This is how you do it. You win these games. You can only play who's in front of you, as you said right there. Now they got San Antonio. 2 away games. It's not at the Footprint Center. Don't say that, Basinonians. It's not at the Footprint Center. It's San Antonio, 2 games and 3 nights on the road. Yeah. That's what they have, Luke.
These are teams that they, whether you think it's ridiculous or not, they lost to the first time. Philadelphia, was a little bit different now without Embiid. But they were 0-1 against Philly. They were 0-1 against Atlanta, and they are 0-2 against San Antonio. So if you need any evidence that these teams are not just gimmies, well, just look at the Suns' schedule the first half of the season because they weren't beating these teams.
That's right.
So, this is the ramp up, right? I mean, if this were to work out, you've got this little 4-game ramp of like teams you should be able to beat. Then you got 10 games against playoff teams. Only one of them is really around them in the standings, so they can only help themselves in the play-in and playoff race really with that Sacramento game in terms of like a game that's almost worth 2 games. And then you're in the playoffs. So, I mean, you've got the on-ramp, but you're on it now. Like, you need to be going, ready for takeoff here. And so far, it hasn't been amazing, but it's 2 wins. Anytime, there's a lot of teams in this league that would love to just be 2-0 in their last 2 games.
Thanks for watching Wolf and Luke. Tap to see more and click the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.